Hello? No sound, no sound, no sound. Um, can you hear me now? Better, good, good. There you are. Norman. I thought it was just me testing a new Bluetooth speaker. Hello, everybody. So FYI, the music that I play at the beginning is just copyright-free music, but I saw in one of the descriptions that the person does want to be credited. So the music that I play at the beginnings of streams is all by The Relaxed Movement on YouTube. This one's from the Winter playlist. So I see stuff happening in the chat. But yeah, I was planning on hopping on and being like, guess what, everybody? I'm a fully monetized individual. But it seems like y'all already figured it out in the 15 minutes that I was late. But yeah, so let's see what's been going on here. Hellenic Taoist has subscribed. Hellenic Taoist has subscribed. Thank you. Hello, Corian. Ghoulish is gifting some subs to SD Produces, Mr. Noir, Tanuki Brown, Corian, and Civ the Scribe. Awesome, awesome. So, all of you, make sure that your Twitch and your Discord are connected so that those go through. They are connected on my Discord, but I haven't quite updated the permissions yet, so I need to do that, but they will go through into the Discord, which is awesome. Yep, there's the meower. There he is. Come here. Come in, kitty. That's a good kitty. Alright. Yes, and there's the Mothman heart. So, because I am monetized, I now can give you emotes. So, I gave you guys a bunch of them. Let's see if I can show you. So you got, maybe be easier for you guys to post them. But you've got a heart, you've got good game, you've got crying for sad stories, you've got, so heart, good game, crying, you got tea, you've got, what is the last one? Lurk is the other one that you've got. And then there are other ones that are subscriber emojis. So I wanted to put the hype emoji as as one of the follower tier ones, but I couldn't make it the hype train emoji unless it was a subscriber emoji. So that is a subscriber emoji. So you got hype, fire, laughing, crying, you've got nose boops, you've got fingies. I think that's all of them. But yeah, so I bought all of these. What is this person's name? Let's credit this person as well. I got a coupon, so I should be able to find him. The shop name is Pejwan STD. Can't make this up. But yeah, so I Kitty, I just let you in. What do you want? So yeah, they just already had these Mothman emojis on their Etsy, and considering I had to pay $50 to get the emojis that I'm getting now, and yes, there are more coming, and $50 to get 7 other ones, getting 10 for $6 is a great deal, and they're specifically made for Twitch. So So I really liked them. I just went on Etsy and looked for Twitch emojis, and I found these Mothman ones. I thought they were so cute, and yeah, there are Twitch emojis now. So I hope you like them. Thank you for the cheers, Death said. Much appreciated. I saw a hype train when I first jumped on here. Thank you for the cheer, Marx. Do gift subs count towards unlocking stories? Wolf, first of all, did they count before? Second of all, do you know how much they cost? Because I think that's what will determine that. Ghoulish, thank you for the big cheer. It's my first cheer for Amita. Hopefully there will be many more. Yes, indeed. Woo! Thank you for the cheer, Norman. That's one encore already, Ghoulish says. Wonderful. Each cheer gets us a little closer to opening the Eldritch gate. Amazing. Oh, Flesh Horse, come to us. All hail the Flesh Horse. Oh, wait, you maybe didn't mean that Eldritch being? Yes. So many Eldritch beings available this time. So many available. Eldritch beings in your area. Kitty.
You don't know what you want, I don't think. You don't know what you want. Come here. Come here, you silly. Come here, you silly little thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Kitty. Here. Here, little mister. Wee. You say hello to the people. Okay.
Mars, whoa, hooray for the cheers and blood sacrifices. Not that anyone does any blood sacrifices. No siree on that.
Oh, Kitty. You're so weird.
Mr. Strangely. Flesh Horse is never wanted, nor is he renounced. He arrives precisely when he is needed. True. True. Welcome, Block the Bleak Lurkin. You can use the moth lurk emoji. Thank you for the cheer, Death said. Alright, I'll pony up a few more bits, but someone else will have to step up if we're going to get to the next tier. Very fair. Yes, now you got points to highlight your messages, too. Didn't realize that was a monetization thing. Ghoulish says, they didn't count gift subs, didn't count in the Foundry, but I'll leave that to Kaylee to decide. Do you know how much they are? Like, what is their equivalent in bits? Yeah, I mean, I probably would have it be a yellow moth if I just, like, commissioned them, but these ones weren't commissioned. They were just ones I bought. Thank you for the subscriptions, Ghoulish and Mako Cam. Subscribe, yes, and you have the hype emoji now. Kitty wants to open borders. She should not require a passport to go whither she pleases, yes. In this case, it's he. The she is behind me being good. Hundreds of not unknowable entities in your area. There, it reminds you of a joke a comedian told where the reason you couldn't find the hot singles in your area advertised is because you are the hot single in your area. Nice. Google says 100 bits are around 140. Subs are $49.99 a month. I don't know how much of a cut Twitch takes, so one sub would be around 400 bits. Gotcha. So 5 would be one story. Gotcha. Well, what do you guys vote for? I mean, I guess it's something that I could try, and if it doesn't seem to be working well, I could take it off, but do you have any opinions on whether or not the gift subs should count? Thank you for the subscription, Magistrate. I don't know why. Oh, I was gonna say, why does it say 9 out of 10 next to the subscriptions? But it's because Twitch decided to give me a goal and was like, your goal is now 10 subs. So that's what it is. But I love that it's like, you have goals now. They're decided for you. Your goal is 10 subscribers and 70 followers. And it's like, okay, I guess that's my goal then. Death says, I think gift subs should count since Twitch regularly regards them similarly to bits. Both build towards a hype train. Very fair. Ghoulish made a little poll for us. Nice. Miko says, gift subs and new subs should count. Recurring shouldn't. Yeah, that's fair. Let's pull this up. Yee, nah. Yep. It looks like that's a longer poll, so I'll let you guys, do your thing. But yes, so before we go into this week, oh no, that wasn't, we did it! Thanks for all the support. 10 out of 10, yep. Who was the last subscriber? Ink Chimera. Thank you so much. People like Mako's idea. I don't know the Saul Goodman voice, but do you have goals? Well, the Twitch stream says you do. Exactly. I guess I can do my little preamble. So, I think it's the first preamble of A Moth in the Archive, but here is how this works if you are new here. Every week we have a prompt that is submitted by supporters and voted on by everyone. It is usually a phrase of some sort. And then we all write 350-word microfiction for said prompt and post it to the Discord. Then 8 stories are selected, and I just realized my numbers are wrong. 8 stories are selected to be read here on the stream. 4 of those are guaranteed submissions. They'll be read no matter what. And 4 of them are encores. They can be unlocked through cheering and potentially gift subs and new subs as well. What was I guess? Oh, yes. And the people who are in the guaranteed section, these are the supporters. So, if you are a Cocooned in Silk or higher member on the Discord, or if you are a tier 1 sub or higher on the Twitch, then you get to be in the guaranteed submissions when you when you are picked to be read on the stream. You also get access to submitting multiple stories. You can multi-post. There are some rules about that, but that is another perk that you get. You also are able to submit prompts to the prompt suggestion channel. You can also do that. The poll has ended, and the answer is yeah. All right, so we will let gift subs and new subs count to the count towards unlocking encores, unless later we find it's not working. So for now, subs, as long as they're not recurring, will help unlock encores. So, as I say, oh yes, the $3 tier on Discord, that also gives you the ability to submit prompts to the prompt suggestion channel, but it doesn't give you, why is my brain spacing out? It doesn't give you access to the guaranteed submissions or the multi-post thing. And the $10 tier allows you to, the first prompt that you submit to this prompt suggestions channel automatically gets added to the final vote. And it's been kind of janky, but you can also have a tag for your universe. So if any of you are transformed ones and you're like, hi, I'm posting my story in this universe today, can I please have a tag for that? You can have that. Yes, new and gift subs, exactly. What was I gonna say? Hello, Mako Cam, thank you so much for the nice big cheer. 10 subs with 13 viewers is pretty good. Maybe a new record. Yeah, good point. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so, before I talk about today's schedule, okay, that says, okay, that's 2 stories unlocked and halfway to 3, and we're going with gift subs being 400 with the gift sub rule. Alrighty. If we're doing that. And I assume that the normal subs, yeah, then the normal, that's how we calculated it. That's what the normal subs are. Alright, that is awesome. So, before I show the list, I want to talk about my thoughts for an April Fool's prompt, because we often do silly little April Fool's prompts here. I was about to say here in the Foundry, here in the archive. Oh, that's going to take some getting used to. So, I believe it was Death's Head who originally had the idea that for prompt 200, which is fast approaching, that we go back and you're allowed to do an old prompt. And I really like this idea, and I've been thinking about it, and as I'm thinking about what I'm going to do, I was really torn between, okay, I really want to do something for the ones that I missed, but there are also prompts that I have done that I kind of want to redo. And I was trying to decide what to do, and then I was like, oh, do you have to decide? And then I realized that I could separate them. So, here's my plan, and you guys can tell me if you hate this idea, but here's my plan. So for April Fool's, which is our next prompt, the 195 prompt, what you're going to do, what the situation is going to be, is it's going to be a redo thing. So what that means is you go back to a prompt that you have submitted before, and that you have submitted for before, and you redo it. So this can mean a few things. It can mean a literal redo, where you take the story that you wrote for that prompt, and maybe it was a few years ago, and you want to see how you've grown, so you either edit that story or rewrite the idea anew, and you redo the exact same idea. It could be that you got a lot of critique on your story for a certain week, and you're like, you know what, I want to take that critique, and I want to redo that story, and I want to see if people like it. I want to see if people appreciate how I took in that advice. You can do that. The other thing that you can do is you can write a new story for that prompt. It's just not related to the other story that you wrote at all. Just something new for a prompt that you've already done. This is probably what I'm gonna do, because I write multiple stories for most prompts, and most of the time I end up being happy with what I submitted, especially because I'm able to multi-post and do 2 of them. But there are a few prompts that I look back on and I'm like, I'm really mad that I didn't post this other one. I think this other one would have been better. And so you can totally do that as well. So that is another option. So, can we redo this week? You mean Eldritch Girlfriend? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you can do any prompt that you have already done. You can decide to redo. So it's gonna be this week. This next week, this coming Monday is going to be the prompt that won. That's currently in prompt announcements. Then the week after that is the April Fool's week. That's 195. That will be the redo week. So what are the ad settings? Are you getting an ad? I was kind of confused by them. But I think Twitch set me to like an ad every hour. It hasn't been an hour though, so you shouldn't be getting one. What's going on with that? I also told it to warn me when an ad was coming. Aerith asked, should we mark the prompt that we were doing for April Fool's prompt on our post? I think that you should put it in spoilers in your author's note, because it's interesting because both the redo and the missed prompt thing, which I'm going to talk about in a second, both of them have an interesting thing which we've never had before, which is that you won't know what prompt people picked unless they like use the prompt as the title. And I think that could be fun. I think that would be really fun if people could like play a guessing game and guess which prompt this is for. And so I think you should, but I totally think that you should say what the prompt is, for sure. And so like make sure you put the prompt in the author's note, but spoiler it so people can guess. So that's my idea for April Fools, and the reason I like it for April Fools is because I think you can kind of construe it as a prank sort of thing, where it's like either I pranked myself last time, like I didn't do as good a job as I wanted to do last time, I pranked myself, you know, I'm gonna redo it. Or it could be, like, if anybody was looking at your prompt list and then they saw this prompt twice, they would think they were being pranked. So that's kind of why I like the redo thing for April Fools. But for prompt 200, I want to do a missed prompt thing. So this means that it is similar, but the opposite. So the redo is go back to a prompt you have already done and either redo the story you did for that prompt or make something new for that prompt you've already written for. But the missed prompt thing for prompt 200 is going to be pick a prompt that you didn't do. Like, pick a prompt that it could be, you know, something really early from 2019, like loving Eldritch parents. Like, maybe you missed that one and didn't write anything for it. Pick that one. Or it could be, like, maybe you missed Eldritch Girlfriend. Maybe you missed last week's. Redo that, or not redo, just do that one. Do the one that you missed. Or maybe you missed... Please Bleed Responsibly. Like, there's lots of different ones where you might have missed a week for whatever reason, or maybe you didn't, most of us didn't arrive in 2019 when the writing group began, which, huge props to you if you did. But most of us didn't, and so you can totally go back to those and pick one of those, but you must pick a prompt, an earlier prompt that you have never written for before. If you have written for all of them, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Choose Your Own Prompt week, which is, what is that number? It is a 2019 prompt. It is the last 2019 prompt. It is 11. It is prompt 11 is Choose Your Prompt. That prompt, and you'll see it in the archive in the prompt intro, that prompt is actually a bunch of prompts. And I highly doubt that someone has done all of them. It's not impossible. It is possible that, you know, somebody did do all of them. But hopefully if you have done all the prompts, you haven't done all the choose your own prompts. And so you can do that. Also, you are free to pick any of those choose your own prompts, just as your average Joe. Even if you haven't done all of them, you are still free to pick something from the choose your own prompt list if you like it. So what do you guys think of that idea? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you neutral about it? What are you thinking? And are you confused? Do you have any questions about it? Oh, and the other thing is that if you are someone who has trouble deciding, either roll the dice, like you can just, I don't know, like use an online wheel, or literally roll a die and assign the prompts a number, or, you know, use their numbers, and then do it that way. Another thing is, if you want me to, I can pick a prompt for you guys to do if you're just like, I can't decide. I think what I will do, if you guys want me to do that, because I just thought of it this morning and I think it's really funny. I think the prompt I will pick if you guys can't decide is please don't make me. Because you guys are basically like, please don't make me choose. All right, that's your prompt. Please don't make me. Norman says, sounds cool to me. And Corian says, sounds like a lot of fun. Nice. Magistrate Ironlung says, I think Eggsy's the only one who's still around since the beginning. Very possible. Yes, here it says, you could do Flesh Horse. That was an April Fool's prompt in the past. Absolutely. Well, you could do it if you already have done it. You can redo it. Magistrate Ireland question, can I use past April Fool's post ooh to Electric Boogaloo? I don't know what you mean by posts. If you mean prompts, yes, like the April Fool's prompts that we've had have been they have been Flesh Horse, Describe the Color Purple, and The Love Story of Blank and Blank. I am going to say, The Love Story of Blank and Blank was a special thing where Benji lifted the fanfiction rule. I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't know the the copyright rules, and I'm pretty sure that that's why the rule is there, is because of copyright. So the fanfiction rule is still in place. Like, you can use The Love Story of Blank and Blank, but you have to use original characters if you pick that one. So thanks for asking that so I could clarify it. Dessa says, I'm in the middle of a 1.5-minute long one for the second time in a half hour. Whoa! That's really weird. I'm so sorry that that's happening to you. That is not, as far as I know, that is not how I set things. But like I said, I was kind of confused by it, so it's possible I did and I just didn't understand it. Is that what's happening to everyone? Is everyone getting like a bunch of ads at the same time, as Death said? I don't know if you need to compile anything, Ghoulish. Like, I don't know what you're saying, but all the prompts are in the archive, so you can see them. Like, and not only that, if you go to the Prompt and VOD archive. It won't have the most recent ones, but the Prompt and VOD archive, go in there. Actually, you know what? I can just pull it up. Hold on a sec. Come on. Get up there. Okay. Of course, I think I'm... well, that's fine. But it seems tiny. Yeah, can you guys actually see that? It just looks like a blur to me. But, so you can go down here and you will see the forum posts for the prompt archive. So there's 2024, 2023, and then, 2022. So you can just scroll through these and you can see all the prompts by looking over here, and opening them all up. And then, like I said, here is the choose your prompt, and it's over here. Can I make you full, please? So these ones are all the choose your own prompts. And then the other place that you can go to just look for the names of the prompts is that you can go, open it all up, over here to the Prompt and VOD archive, then go up to pins. So here's 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, which also includes all the choose your own prompts. So it doesn't have 2024 on it, but this is a very easy place to go look for all the prompts. Interesting. Corian says about the ads, Twitch also is weird with ads and doesn't always follow those settings. Something I've seen and experienced as a lurker in other streams. Gotcha. Interesting. Air says sounds like a lot of fun. And Garber sees choose your project. I choose all of them. What? All of them! Writes one story that satisfies every prompt. You could try it if you want to. Mark says, I'm totally down for that idea. Nice. Okay, Mako says, I haven't gotten any ads. Era says, no ads. Norman, no ads. Mark's 2. So it seems like it's kind of random to different people. That's very strange. I'm sorry that you guys are dealing with that. I might have to try to come here. Stop, little computer. Do as I ask, please. No, you're still not doing what I want you to do. Where are you? Stop. Oh my goodness. Get over here. Get over here. Make yourself small. Over in the stream chat, Eric says, looking forward to all the possibilities of whatever we're going to do for the April Fool's prompt. Yes. Massa, OMG, I had so many submissions. How could I possibly decide? But I think I've already decided. There was a story I wasn't happy with. Very fair. And like I said, if you're like, I'm not really interested in redoing a story I previously did, just pick a prompt that you have already written for and write a new story for it. That is totally fine. Why do I look shadowed? Oh, gotcha. Magistrate Ironline. Also, the suggestion of Uwu 2 is not serious. It was meant as a joke and to trigger BSD flashbacks with Wool. I assume, considering that there is no prompt that says Uwu, and considering what Uwu is, I assumed it was, but good clarification. Wonder if the lack of ads is a side effect of being moderators? Are the people who aren't moderators all getting them? I think Corianne said she hadn't gotten any. Oh, subscribers don't get ads. Okay. Norman said no ads and he isn't a mod. Okay. Totally. Desad says, if we're allowed to post more than one story, can we redo / write for 2 different prompts? Yes, you totally can, and that's what I'm gonna be doing that week for sure. So, and it could even be like you can mix and match. Like if you're like, I was unhappy with this story and I want to redo it, and then you're also like, well, but I also really like this other prompt and I just want to write something new for this prompt. You can do that. It could even be like, I want to redo my story for Please Bleed Responsibly. I also want to write a new story for Please Bleed Responsibly. You can do that as well. Whatever you so desire. Okay, Ink Chimera hasn't gotten any either, but Ink Chimera is a subscriber, so... Coolish is indeed having the flashbacks. Oh gosh, no. I forgot, but now I remember. Amazing. Okay, Magistrate says, I had ads at the beginning. Now that I'm a subscriber, I expect no ads. Now that I have the kingly cloak upon me, I expect to have no ads. It is a fair expectation, though. You're not supposed to. Alright, so you all seem like you're on board for the April Fool's idea, which is great. So remember, that is not this week, that is the next week. This week is whatever wins in the prompt announcement channel. I'm just saying this now because you guys will not have a vote, or not have a prompt suggestions. What do I call that? Prompt collection post. And so I wanted to make sure you guys knew why you weren't getting that. And I have to figure out what to do for somebody who's new, somebody who has never, who hasn't written for any of the prompts and therefore has nothing to redo. I guess I could do the same thing on that one. I guess I could do the okay, do please don't make me then. But I don't know. Anyways, it is now time to announce who is going to be read this week. So, and our prompt this week was Eldritch Girlfriend, which was great. As far as I know, this has been the most stories that have been submitted in a very long time, so applaud yourselves in your homes, everybody, because that is awesome. I absolutely love that. So we had so many great submissions this week. So and the other thing to talk about, the other thing to quick say is that if you haven't seen it yet, I played Sucker for Love to honor our prompt this week, because Sucker for Love is a game all about a dude who really likes eldritch horrors and wants an eldritch horror girlfriend. And so he wants to smooch one specifically. And so kind of a visual novel type game about smooching eldritch girls. It is fantastic. It is great. And so I played through all of the first date game. And so if you are interested in smooching eldritch deities, that is the playthrough for you. But yeah, so anyways, now I can actually show you. Here's the list for today. For our guaranteed stories, we have Norman Gray, Marx, Lee Strangely, and Death Said 419. And I realized I capitalized the H. Oh, right, and this is where I got the numbers wrong, right? Yeah, it should be 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Yes, Norman, Marx, Lee Strangely, and Death Said. Then for our encores, we have MQI, who is a debut, Hellenic Taoist, Shinigama, and Lila Dieva. And as far as I know, we have unlocked MQI and Hellenic Taoist, and are on our way to unlocking Shinigamas, which is awesome. Oh, that's awesome, Massa says. I think one of the characters in my story probably played that game. Nice. Alrighty-roo. Well, without further ado, let us go forward. I wanted to rhyme it, but I couldn't think of anything. I think I might try to set a 20-minute timer for myself today and just see how that goes. Oh, and I can actually... you know what I'm gonna do? Don't do that. I'm gonna... We've unlocked these two and half of this one. We got the shinny, but not the radiation. Alright. Okay. Ghosted by Norman Gray. It's hard knowing what to say once you've contacted the dead. They're a complicated bunch. I just feel like nothing I do is making Corey notice me, Kelly told me. Like, the other night, we were sitting on the couch watching a horror movie, laughing together. Then, after the movie was over, he just left the room, like he didn't even know I was there. Because he doesn't, Kelly, I sighed. It's not that he isn't into you, or that he isn't picking up on your hints. You're a ghost. She wasn't listening. I don't know, I just think we're perfect for one another. He's into spooky stuff, I'm spooky. I feel like it was just meant to be, you know? I tried being blunt. I think you're in denial, and that your fixation with Corey is a distraction, and your unwillingness to move on is keeping you here in a state of limbo. Uh-huh, she nodded. Am I pretty enough, Dr. Ramona? I took a deep, frustrated breath. You really believe it's your looks that are the problem? She rolled her eyes. So, I know Corey can't see me, okay? I'm not stupid. But what if when he finally does see me, he thinks I'm ugly? I rubbed my temples, which, in hindsight, probably looked like some kind of conjuring ritual, not a desperate attempt at soothing my pounding headache. I think you need to worry about the actual problems before you, not hypothetical scenarios. But, again, I'm a psychic, not a psychiatrist. I have an idea. Why don't you meet him and introduce us? And she got all excited. It'll be just like that movie with Patrick Swayze where he's a ghost. I paused. You mean ghost? No, she said. No, that's not it. Kelly, repeat after me. I am deceased. I don't care, she shrieked. The room turned icy cold. I want boyfriend. Blood trickled down the walls. Okay, fine, I'll talk to Corey. Calm down. The warmth returned. The wall stopped bleeding. Kelly was still irritated. Some psychiatrist you are. I'm not... You know what? Never mind. And throw out those taillights and tentacles. Cheer for this story if you loved it. I don't know if I could do it, but I feel like I should have a more, like, neutral Amita at the bottom of the screen, and then turn her into the yay Amitas when I'm telling you to cheer. Aw, the little taloids. It's great. The taloids and the hearts. Wolf says, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Unchained Melody starts playing. Corianne, this was hilarious. Yes, indeed. Also, it's kind of hilarious that when I have channel points, it says infinity next to them. In Tail Foundry, I wasn't Tail Foundry, like I wasn't actually the, I don't know how to describe it, but I didn't have the chat of Tail Foundry, and so I had actual points. So it was very funny to see. Oh, look at all those little hearts. That's great. It looks like an auditorium, like an audience of moths all holding up hearts. That's great. And a cheer from Magistrate Ironlung, 100 doggos. Thank you so much. I expect a sharp learning curve, or maybe not. Maybe she'll stay in denial. That is the question. Norman, if you have any questions about your story, anything you want to say about how you want to be toasted, do let me know. Oops. I guess I'll just get into it. Well, first of all, I thought this was hilarious too. I really love this story, and this is definitely one of those stories where, like, I don't have very many critiques, and any critiques I do have are just very nitpicky. Like, the story totally works as is. You don't have to change anything for it to be amazing. But just looking for stuff to chat about. So in that vein, the first question I have is the opening line a good opener? In one sense, I like it. It's like, hey, you contacted the dead, and they're complicated, and that pretty much is how the story goes following. But I kind of feel like, I'm just starting with Kelly going, I just feel like nothing I do is making Corey notice me. And then Ramona going, you're a ghost. You know, I think we get what was going on, and it wouldn't have so much of a, like, FYI, here's the story I'm about to tell kind of thing. And you'd have a lot of words left over. But it's, like I said, it definitely works as is. It's not too big of a problem, just a question I ended up having. And then I really love how you, like, introduce it, because, like, if you don't know that she's a ghost, then it totally seems like he is being really mean. It's like, oh my gosh, like, you were sitting there on a date together and then he just left? How rude! And it's like, it's not rude. You're a ghost. I think that is great, and I love the specificity of it. I think this is kind of one of those things I talk about where, when you have some details, it helps things be more vivid, and that is definitely the case here, where, because you could have just said in a general sense, like, oh, like, he won't notice me, you know, and not really go into more detail, but talking about, like, we're watching a horror movie together, and we were laughing, it was great, and then he just did nothing, you know, I think is great. And then I love the response as well. It's not that he isn't into you or that he isn't picking up on your hints. You're a ghost. I think that's fantastic. I absolutely love the next line of, he's into spooky stuff, I'm spooky. I think that is great. It totally feels like someone that a ghost would go for. They'd be like, oh yeah, you like ghosts? I am a ghost, so you know, look at this. I can actually do that now. I want a gif of that to use so bad, but I can't find one. That is from, if you don't know, that's from Gravity Falls. When Mabel is like with Norman, and I forget what it is, but she says something along the lines of like, do you like food, Norman? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, look at this, like, we're so similar. It's something like that, but I love that. Anyways, and then I like this too. I can totally see this being true, and I like that little bit of like actual, here's what's probably actually going on. It's great, really helpful. And then cute that she goes like, am I pretty enough though? Like, what if he thinks I'm ugly? Very, very cute. I should really put this over here. You're gonna hear me slurping in the mic. This line here kind of works for me and is kind of awkward, because I was like, how does that look like a conjuring ritual? But I guess I have seen movies where I'm like, yes, summon, but it's not, I don't know how I feel about that part, so I would be curious to hear if anybody else found it strange or if it's totally normal. I like this too. Like, I think you need to worry about your actual problems, not hypothetical scenarios. Though I also kind of feel like as a ghost, everything is kind of a hypothetical scenario, or it's like, yeah, she could focus on the fact that she's in limbo, and perhaps Ramona is saying, hey, you should go on to the afterlife. But right now, she can't really do much of anything, and so everything is kind of hypothetical. Yay, Slurpee Mike! Why do you want that, Iris? Oh, that's funny. Then the part about ghost is cute too. You mean ghost? No, that's not it. I like the call and response here. I think that's great. And then seeing her powers as she's just getting mad is great too. Really works. And then I love the psychiatrist thing as well. Like, it all just works really well for me. There isn't really much about the story that takes me out of it or damages the flow or anything like that. The jokes are all landing for me. It works super well. This isn't exactly a praise or critique of the story specifically, but this is a fun tangent that hopefully you guys will enjoy. But this story was really funny to read after learning about Chinese ghost marriages. I forget what it was, but I saw like a meme that mentioned Chinese ghost marriages, and I was like, what's that? And so I looked it up, and I spent a bit of time just reading through the Wikipedia article, and man, is it nuts. But basically, from what I understand, in Chinese culture, because you have the yin and yang, you're not truly happy unless you're married and you have the yin to your yang or the yang to your yin. And so, what do you do if somebody dies unmarried? Well, if they die unmarried, their soul is not going to be in harmony, and they might come back to haunt you, and you don't want that. So what are we going to do? We're going to grab a corpse of the opposite gender, we're going to throw them in the grave, we're going to do a little marriage ceremony, and then we're all good. And like, there's a lot of different nuances to it as well. It's not just that. It's also like the older brothers are supposed to marry before the younger brothers, and so instead of being like, oh, the older brother's dead now, so you're good, they'd be like, no, older brother has to get married, so let's grab a corpse, let's do the job, and then you can get married, little bro. And then there is also, like, sometimes actual living ladies would marry dead dudes. And the best part about this is, so this part I'm about to say is not good, not the best part, but in that culture, like, it was really not okay for a lady not to be married. And so, and to the extent that you know how in Mexican culture they have the ofrenda, and you have to put your picture up on the ofrenda so that the spirit can come back. And, you know, you have to be remembered and stuff. Well, it seems like they have something similar in that culture where you have, like, this tablet. I forget where it goes, but I think it's, like, on the mantle or something, that helps. Again, I forget exactly what it does, but it, like, helps your spirit in the afterlife. But apparently ladies can't get their tablet on the mantle of their natal home. They have to have it on their husband's home. And so if a lady didn't want to be married, but wanted her afterlife secured, she'd marry a dead guy. And then we're good. Then we're good for the afterlife, which I think is awesome. Like, that it was that ladies used it to, like, empower themselves in a way. It's like, oh, gee, like, I'm not really interested in marrying anyone. Oh, but that this dead guy seems pretty nice. Like, maybe I could marry him. And everyone's just like, cool, that's fine. So, oh, and there was also, like, the last thing I'll say is that, if that lady, she was supposed to be chaste, but if she adopted a child, that child was legally the dead husband's child as well. And so, you know, he could carry on his line while he was alive. He didn't know this girl. He didn't know this child. But his line carries on. So, the point of the story is that this story was extra fun to read after that, because after reading that, I'm like, just marry him. What's the problem? This is a thing you can do. Norman, this is like my girlfriend goes to another school, only it's my girlfriend lives in another plane of existence. Yep, very true. Mr. Strangely, I think Tim Burton warned us about this. Yes, though he was actually talking about a different, it's like, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know enough about it, but I know it's like a thing in Jewish culture that Tim Burton was riffing on there. Eris says, I do wonder how their culture handles gay lesbian relationships in relation to stuff like this. Well, especially because, I mean, I think they do still do this occasionally, but this was mostly in the past, and considering that and considering the whole yin-yang male-female thing, I think they didn't. I think they didn't handle gay lesbian relationships. Or at least I'm sure they didn't handle them well. But I don't know for sure. What I read didn't say anything about that. Oh, and Death said got another ad, and so did Marx. So, my goodness. No, but I forgot about ghost marriages. Maybe my brain ejected the fact to protect me from it. Maybe so. Now I have exposed you to it again. Inca Mira lurk, very cute. Jork, keep listening in the background. Very fair. Sick. Wolf says, yep, ghost marriages are strange. I knew you'd know about it. I knew you would. Yeah, but Corian says, I didn't know this was a thing. Interesting. Eris says, interesting. I just wondered, I know that, for example, you had Victorian times where two women would live together as spinsters. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, like, it's possible that something like that happened, but I wonder how it would work in terms of, like, the yin-yang and the tablets and stuff like that. Wolf says, if I remember correctly, there were a lot of gay hookups in those cultures, but they're expected to marry women to continue their line. Gotcha. That does make sense. All right, but this was really fun, Norman. Is this the story that... Excuse me. Is this the story that you weren't sure if you could cut it down properly? Because especially if it is, huge props to you. Like, I'm very glad that I got to read it, and I think you absolutely succeeded at cutting it down properly. Yeah, there was a second half to this. Well, if you're willing to share, I'd be curious to hear a summary of what it is at least. But I think that I think it works. Like, even though the tale isn't ended, it makes sense. Like, it's like, okay, our next step is we're gonna talk to Corey, and I'd love to see a sequel where we talk to Corey. But yes, this was great. All right, let us go on to Marx. I did copy down your notes, Marx, but if you have anything else to add, then feel free to say so. Secret Admirer, Love and Hex, by Marx. You do know you can make eye contact with me, Vanessa asked. I won't bite. Xander's cheeks burned crimson. You're asking me to look into the sun. Vanessa giggled. I promise not to burn your retinas. You're really pretty, Vanessa. I don't want to stare. It's rude. Vanessa reached across the desk and took one of his hands into hers. That's okay, Xander. I give you permission to stare. He finally attempted to do as asked. His pupils dilated, his breath quickened, his heart tried its damnedest to beat right out of his chest. He looked away. Vanessa couldn't help but to giggle again. Xander, I'm just a person. Why do you look so terrified of me? You're not just a person, Vanessa. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Your father owns a multi-billion-dollar company that most of the world doesn't even know exists. I'm nothing special. I don't understand why you've been approaching me lately, and talking to you like this... Talking to you is like this surreal dream I'm afraid to wake up from. Vanessa paused. Would it help if I said I had an ulterior motive? Xander's eyes locked onto hers. He only had one skill, and that skill was the reason he worked for the company in the first place. What do you want me to make? Vanessa's grin widened from ear to ear. You already made it. The roses on my birthday. Xander's gaze drifted down. Those were gifted to you anonymously. And yet, the spell coding was so intricate and layered that no other technomage could have done it. Except for you. It has this heavenly fragrance that somehow always calms me. Do you have any idea how sweet and thoughtful that was? You looked really stressed at the holiday party. Vanessa giggled again and held his hand tighter. I'd know your skill anywhere. It's beautiful. It's art. You may choose to put me on this pedestal, but I'm the one who's a fan of yours. And I want to get to know you better. Is that okay? Xander slowly nodded. Throw up those taillights and throw up what should I tell you to throw up now that you have Mothman emojis? I guess throw up those moth hearts and what was this I said last time? It was like something in turtles. Oh, tentacles and turtles. Yeah, moth hearts and tentacles and turtles. It says I have tailloids. Well, it works. It works for you. I could still say tailloids and tentacles, just for Death's Head. Squids and silk. I mean, is there anything equivalent to silk? Moths and monsters. That's right. Oh yeah, I like that. So that works really well. Very, very on brand. Nope, go over here. Hey, Marx has them too. Nice, nice. All right, I will read Marx's little note first for you guys to respond to. Once again, they totally looks like just, I don't know, ancient runes on my little preview. Does it look that way to you? Can you actually read this? Toast level medium. Questions. So I kind of liked that if you know my writing, but not this world specifically, you might have assumed that Vanessa was supernatural in nature, because that's how Xander sees her, and that's the prompt. But later you see she's just a person, and then later you see that there is actually magic in this world, and he's the more supernatural of the two, assuming you didn't already know that. My question is, how well does that work, and did I need to introduce the technomage thing earlier? I was tight on words / characters here, and when I tried, it was kind of clunky. So, if you guys have any thoughts towards that, then feel free to say so. It is a little blurry, Deathshead says. Well, I guess a little blurry is better than what I'm seeing. But still not great. Yes, so this was great as well. I absolutely loved this. I loved the more like real takes on the prompt. Of course, the unreal takes on the prompt were awesome too. But I guess this story does have some unrealness to it as well, but it is just about two people in a, normal dating relationship, and I think that is a lot of fun, and I actually do agree that it's fun that you might think that she actually is a supernatural being, until it is clear that she is not. And I think that is a very neat idea that the person who loves her sees her as kind of like a scary and eldritch, but, in an intimidated way.
Oh, the kitty. Good kitty. You're so good.
He steps on exactly the right place.
You're so good. Yes, you are.
Here, let me show you the other kitty as well.
There she is, all sleepy.
I'd pet her, but it's probably gonna wake her up. Yes. So yeah, I think that is cool. Do you want out, kitty? Where are you going?
Yep. Yep.
Bella is truly zonked. She isn't even batting an ear at the fact that the door is opening and closing. But yeah, let us go on. This is another story where it totally works as is, and all the critiques I have are much more nitpicky and don't need to be changed for the story to still be great. You do know you can make eye contact with me. I won't bite. It works because that is kind of a saying of I won't bite. But I do think it would work better to do something more eye related, because hopefully somebody won't bite you if you look at them. I mean, I guess that would be a very, very like trigger happy little monster. But I think something like, you can make eye contact with me, Vanessa asked. I won't turn you to stone, I think works better. And I can say, so I did read my dad this story, and he definitely thought it was literal at first, that he for sure was like, oh yeah, she's actually bright, she's actually something supernatural. And then there is an overall question I want to ask you, which is, are they on a date or not? Because I very much got the impression that, hey, they actually are dating, because she is talking like, hey, you can stare, that's fine, and she like recognizes that he puts her on a pedestal and stuff. And that is still stuff that you can talk about when you're not dating. But it very much seemed like, hey, we recognize that we like each other in a romantic way, and we're addressing that. But I don't know if it's just like the step before that. I don't know if this is the, hey, we're recognizing that we like each other in a romantic way step. going back to the story, he finally attempted to do as asked. His pupils dilated, his breath quickened, his heart tightened, tried its stamina to beat right out of his chest. His pupils dilated kind of sticks out, because it seems like it's mostly third limited, especially like the next couple lines are stuff that we would feel as Xander, that it seems like it's in Xander's head, but Xander would not know what his pupils are doing. And so it feels odd, especially to start with something that he wouldn't actually see. But not too bad, but just a question. This line here, again, not bad. It still works, but it is something that pulls me out just a little bit for a couple of reasons. One reason is that it's not very relatable. Like, this story, even though it has, like, magic in it, and we'll talk about that in a sec, it still is a very, like, real and relatable story. But then going from, like, hey, like, I think you're the most beautiful person in the world, and I'm nothing special, like, that's something lots of people could relate to. But going, your father owns a multi-billion-dollar company that most of the world doesn't know about. Now I'm not relating so much. Now I can't really put myself in the character's shoes. Especially because I didn't even know that about these characters. And the other thing is that it kind of seems like a shallow thing for him to mention, because it seems like his love is very genuine. It doesn't seem like he's trying to get her money or anything like that. And so to go from, like, yeah, I love you, you're the most beautiful person in the world, and also you have a lot of money, is a little, seems a little shallow, or, seems like, why is that kind of coming up right now, bro? Like I said, there is enough to very clearly show that he's not after her money. But it's just, like I said, it's just a thing that sticks out. I have tripped up on this. I should have made a comment on it, or highlighted it to make myself do it right. But I have tripped up on this line every time I have read this story. Every time I read it as talking to you like this. But it's talking to you is like this surreal dream. I don't know if that's critiquable or not, but considering I did it every single time, makes me think that,
Oh, now she's getting up.
makes me think that every phrase of that line would be helpful. And I do think this is cute too. So where the multi-billion-dollar company thing doesn't really work so well for me, the magic stuff really does, at least for me personally. And part of what makes it really work and not take away from the relatability is that it is clear that at its core, this is about their relationship. Because, yeah, like, there's these roses and they have to do with magic and you made them. But the moral of the story is it was sweet and thoughtful. And all he did was see that she seemed stressed, and now she has the best present ever. And so it shows, like, it's not his magic that she's after, it's him. Like, she cares about him and how thoughtful he was towards her. I think that is really cool. That is exactly how to use magic in these stories, is to, like, taking something, because you can totally do just, like, magic and have it be just cool and fun, as is. But when you take that magic and have it be something relatable, or have it be a symbol of something more real, or have it be intertwined with something more real, especially in these short stories, I think that really makes the story more impactful. By the way, that's something we're going to see in Death's Head's story as well. But yeah, so that really works here for me. Like, first of all, the magic is super cool. Like, the idea of being able to make roses that last forever and always smell great, and they have a calming effect. That's so cool. Like, I really like that little bit of magic. I think that's a great way to pepper in some world building. But it's not just about, hey, I made these cool roses. It's about, you thought about me, you were thoughtful, and you you gave me this awesome present, and that shows what kind of a person you are, and I would like to get to know you better. I'd like to be with you. And I think that is really cool. There's the meow.
Kitty, come here.
He just stands there at the door and looks up at me. He's just like,
Hi. Kitty boo, I want you to come in. Yes, I do.
I don't know if you heard the tiny meow.
Come here, Tiny. Oh.
I tried to grab him and he ran away.
He ran away, Bella.
I also am curious, and this is part of why I'm asking the "Are they dating yet?" question, because the only thing that gave me question about the story right away is this put me on a pedestal thing, because like there is a balance where like, yeah, you think that your significant other is the coolest thing in the world, but at the same time, if you're just like, they're the best thing ever, they can do nothing wrong, and I'm a measly worm in comparison, and if that is your whole relationship, that's a problem. And so I do think that this line works better if they're not dating yet. If it's like, you like, hey, I'm on a pedestal right now, but let's get to know each other, and maybe I won't be on that pedestal. Like you'll see I'm a person. But if they are dating, gives me a little bit of concern. The other stories I've read about them do not give me that concern, so I think it'll be fine. But it is something that stuck out a bit. It's like, there's a little flag there. And no one likes me. Everybody hates me. I'm a lowly worm. Is that from something? Thank you for the cheer, Ghoulish.
Come here, Kitty.
Norman says, this piece suddenly makes me think of Hector and Lenore from the Castlevania series. I was definitely of the assumption that she was supernatural in some way. Otherwise, this guy needs to chill a bit. Yeah, I was going to say, I guess that first of all does show that someone else, the pedestal thing, stuck out to them as well, presuming that's what you're talking about. Second of all, I do think this relationship is a lot healthier than Hector and Lenore, but I can definitely see why it would remind you of that. Mark says, well, I really need to watch Castlevania. Yes, you do.
Kitty. Hello.
Yes. You're so cute. The sneezes alert me to your presence. I'm not sure I get the joke. Norman says, the problem is, given the prompt, it's easy to read too much into it. I won't bite, makes me think vampire. Staring into the sun, definitely seemed like there was something more literal than she was just very pretty. Very fair. So for you, that hindered your ability to understand the story, you're saying? Mark says, they're very early in the relationship, in a date of sorts. Gotcha. Mark says, it was meant to be that she's beautiful and powerful, so she's very intimidating. Gotcha. So,
Come here.
So it's more like, hey, you're super beautiful. Also, you are the daughter of the owner of a multi-billion-dollar company. How dare I approach you? That makes sense. That makes sense for sure. Oh yeah, Ghoulish says, I could see him mentioning the wealth in hey, people are gonna think I'm a gold digger context. Yeah, you could use that to maybe be. Well, I guess it all depends on where they are in the relationship, because if they haven't been established as like, yes, we boyfriend girlfriend, then it would be strange for him to say people will think I'm a gold digger. How could you say that?
Kitty boo, come here. I you. Do you want up on the table again? Come here. Come here. You silly little thing. You silly little thing. There he is. Yep. Yep, you're silly.
He's so good. I can't get over what a good kitty he is. Like, there's just a little bit at the top of the laptop that it's okay for them to step on. That isn't the keys, and he always steps on it. He's so good.
Kitty.
Mako says it is from something. I have no idea what though. Very fair. Ghoulish says yes, 1,000 times to the pedestal comment. I've been on both sides of it, and it sucks both ways. Very fair. I'm sorry to hear that you have been in sucky relationships, Ghoulish. Oh. That's 70% of the way to irradiation, as in gamma radiation. Amazing. Mark says, I do agree that Xander could use some chill. Very, very fair. They definitely aren't established at this point. Gotcha. And no, kitty butt. You saw his butt. Oh, I see. Just his fur.
Kitty, you want out? Oh, kitty.
I really think he wants the chair. That he just wants Bella's chair.
Right, Bella?
And she's pretty mercurial. What is that? Oh, I guess you're talking about something else here. Oh, nice. Massa's showing off his own Eldritch being. That is really cool art. All right. Well, this was an awesome story. Marx. Oh my goodness. I don't know what was going on up there. I don't know if you could see that. And now my computer is deciding to complain. Also, I am wondering what the secret admirer means, because it seems like it's very much not a secret. Or I guess maybe it's referring to the roses, that it's like, the anonymous secret admirer, and it's not so secret anymore. Oh gosh, there's just the weird things. Both times I was the dumpy. That's a self-esteem booster. All the sarcasm I can muster. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's see. I think this is cute, of like, I don't want stairs. It's rude. I think that's pretty precious. It also feels, I don't know if this is what you intended, but it very much feels like the hot, rich daughter of the billionaire CEO, who's just like, got bags of expensive shopping on each arm all the way up. Well, actually, no, who has servants carrying all those bags all the way up. And then he's the IT guy. Like, he's just the IT guy from the downstairs or something. He's just the little nerd, which I think is great. It reminds me of like bedtime stories with the janitor liking the billionaire's daughter. Mark says it's that they were both secretly admiring each other before they actually met. Gotcha. That is something I haven't talked about yet that I really liked about the story as well, that she does flip it around at the end and go, hey, you think I'm great? I think you're great. So, which I think is fantastic and definitely helps with the, and then definitely helps with like the pedestal thing, at least somewhat. I do think that is very cool. I think you're neat. I think you're neat. Kissing noises. It makes me think of the the thing on GMM that was like, I'm the greatest. No, I'm the greatest. No, we're both great. 1:30-minute ad start. Dang. Is that happening to Marx as well? Massa says it's actually another person's character. Gotcha. While you have the ad, I'll check on the kitty.
Hi, you. Kitty. Silly cat, come here.
Mark says, yup. Oh, sorry.
Meow.
Can you guys keep actually, I think Jess is good at this. Can you, like, make a, I don't know, like, list or chart saying, like, 4:30 got a minute 30 ad or something like that, so I can see what it actually looks like and if Twitch is doing what it said it was doing or if it's just completely going off the rails. Oh gosh. Mr. Strangely says it's an ad for AI art. Oh, that's terrible. One's gonna hit in the middle of the story. I just know it. Oh, in the middle of your story. Oh yeah, that would suck. Tell me if you're getting one. I'll stop reading your story if you're getting an ad so that, you can actually hear it. Mark says, my Prime sub to Tailfounder expires tomorrow, though. I can endure the apocalypse. That's good. I appreciate that.
Where'd you go, kitty?
I guess I shouldn't be saying that while they're in ads. They can't hear me. Please do that. I'm not getting anything. Do make the list, you mean? Yeah, tell me when you guys are back. Here, I'll show the kitty while we're waiting for them.
Just a ball of fluff. Just a little marshmallow, a little bit toasted. That's right. Kitty, that's right. That's right.
Looks like Mr. Strangely is back. Is Death's Head back?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a little foot. That's a little foot.
Okay, Death's Head is back. So, if you didn't hear, can you please make a list of, like, got an ad at 4:30, the ad was a minute 30, like, record the times that you're getting the ads and how long the ads are, because I want to see if Twitch is, like, doing what it said it would do in a strange way that I didn't expect it to, or if it is just completely going off the walls and doing weird stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Like a little meowshmallow. That is amazing. I'm totally gonna be using that now. Oh, and also just said, if you get an ad in the middle of your story, make sure you tell me, and I will stop reading and restart after you come back. I will, says Death said, appreciated. Alright. Let us go on to Lee Strangely's story. Spirits and Spooks, Mary and Jack, by Lee Strangely. In the candlelight, Mary brushed her blood-soaked hair, occasionally looking back at the little girl buried in her bedsheets. Mary leaned outside the glass of the vanity mirror. Sweet dreams. The shaking lump on the bed tensed, pulling the sheets even tighter as Mary blew out the candle. But she began to leave A sudden blood-curdling scream pierced the night. Mary rushed into the rooms beyond the reflection's reach, reappearing in the glass of the balcony's doors. Here, eyes were eager to see as her hands pressed against the barrier. Cries of bone-chilling terror ran through the alley, chased by a horrid cackling. She watched the shadows flail about along the walls, running away from a devilish figure. As the victims fled, he leapt in his black cloak onto the rooftop across from her. As he turned around, the bright burning coals in his eyes locked with the red ruby eyes of her cold reflection. Without looking away, he took off his hat and gave a bow from his perch. She flashed a light smile, curtsying in her stained dress. Taking it as encouragement, the shadowy devil continued to fiddle with his hat, twirling it in his hand, prolonging its return to his head. He rolled and tossed it about like some cocky schoolboy, all the while holding his fiery gaze upon her. However, his skills eventually waned. One of his hands soon faltered, missing the top hat as it flung off of the edge, but not before falling into her pale hand, jutting out of the window glass just below. He looked up at Mary. She giggled as the hand tossed it back to him and retreated. He smiled back before bounding across the gap, his cloak fluttering like demon wings as he landed just feet from Mary. Her hands cradled her head as she leaned through the glass and into the outside. "My thanks to you," he cooed. "Miss Mary," she purred. "Just Mary." He grinned. "I'm Jack." Throw out those tailloids and tentacles. Cheer for this story if you loved it.
And the kitty do be meowing. Kitty, come here. Kitty. He was meow meow meowing through the story, and now
he's not at the door.
There he is. There he is. Oh, you baby kitty. I don't know what you want, little baby kitty. I really don't. I gave you food. I gave you water. Cleaned your litter. And I can give you love if you just stay in here. I can give you love too if you just stay in here. Is that all you want? Do you want a constant stream of pets and loves? Is that why you're all restless all the time?
Let's see. Oh. Yeah. Here, let's try and turn it. He's purring as I'm petting his little face, so maybe that is what he wants. He just wants to be petted. 80% of the way to the next story. That is awesome. 80% of the way to radiation. I love those little heart moths so much. Des says Jack the Ripper and Bloody Mary. Norman says Spring Heel Jack. I thought yes, we discussed it the last story, and it definitely is. Thank you for the cheer, Ghoulish Misfit. Lovely Bloody Mary story. Yes. Mr. Strangely says yes, the Spring Heel Jack. So yes, I am very partial to these two. I really like these two characters. I love seeing two very unique boogeymen having a relationship together. I think it's super cute, super fun. I'd love to see more of their story. Let's see what Lee Strangely said. Toast to spread my ashes over a bowl of ice cream. Author's note, with their first story together essentially acting as a sort of ending, I wanted to write a happier moment between them from back in their heyday, middle to late 1800s. However, this story is more descriptive and way less dialogue-centric compared to the previous, and because of that, I worry about 1. Do Mary's powers seem understandable enough? Does it make a difference knowing she's meant to be Bloody Mary? Does the writing itself seem bland or feel like things are rushing along? The heavy amount of descriptions, along with the word/character limit, have me fearing I didn't give this piece enough time to breathe or let the imagery shine. 3, romance isn't my usual choice, but lately I've been making attempts with it in my writing here and there. Since there's little dialogue to hide behind and carry it along, how well do you think their first meeting turned out? Well, that, first of all, that is awesome that you are trying out something new. That is exactly what the